All right, we are at Eagle 5 Golf, one of our new favorite places, to go over some shocking golf stuff. So we thought it'd be cool to go through the golf swing, but not how you typically see the golf swing. We're going to go through it in our unique way for our unique focus, going over the strength and performance aspects of it. But that involves kind of really breaking down the science of it, the physics, and the planes of movement.
Yeah, we typically have three planes of movements in general in life, and we can take those three planes of movements and look at them in terms of a golf swing. There's sagittal, transverse, and frontal, and all three of those things are important when we're looking at a golf swing and golf performance.
So what we want to show you in this video is, one, we'll go through the golf swing, again, not from the technical aspects of the golf swing, but like Corey said, the planes of movement in the golf swing. And then we'll show you a corresponding exercise you can do to improve each of those planes of movement for your golf swing. Now, for us at Recharge in our golf performance, we focus on three major aspects: mobility, strength, and power. And we're going to show you an exercise for each of those planes of movement that is in one of those three categories. All right, let's go look at the swing, then we'll get into the exercise portions when we head back to Recharge. Let's get into it. First planes of movement we're going to talk about is the frontal plane, which is this one. And that's really important, obviously, for weight shift, but also for the power position, where you load your swing and then unload. So this frontal plane, left to right, is incredibly important to generate the force you need for your swing. And if you don't have that weight shift, or you're not quite strong in that frontal plane, then you have to compensate through the other planes. It has to come from somewhere, and your body will naturally adjust. So what we're going to give you is that strong foundation for that weight shift back, and then the exploding ability into that. So frontal plane movement. Let's go over the exercise. I don't know if you ever heard this. There's a wise golfer slash singer that once said, "The hips don't lie." It's very sage golf advice from Shakira, and she was very, very correct. So we're talking about the frontal plane, back and forth. Now, when we're dealing with the frontal plane today, we're going to talk about generating a speed component with our strength, and that equates to power. So we want some power, but we don't want to go crazy, right? We still want to be contained and within ourselves, because that's really translates to the golf swing. So it's some exercises we'll show you, and in our golf program, we have some bigger movements, exaggerations, and that's to help your nervous system train as well as the muscles. But sometimes you have to be a little bit more contained, and this is a little bit more contained. So what we have here is a band attached to our rig. You can have it attached to anybody, or somebody can be holding it. It doesn't matter. You just need resistance pulling you into this side to side or frontal plane. So the resistance is pulling into your back leg. So if you're in a golf swing, this is going to be your load leg, and we're exaggerating that a bit. So what this exercise is, again, you're imagining you're going into your backswing. You're not exaggerating a ton. You're just going to load by letting the band pull you into that direction. So you're using the force of the band to guide you. And then once you feel your back leg loaded up, you're going to pause for a second and then explode. And then control it back. Load it again and then explode. So my back leg is now straight. I'm up on my toe. I'm pushing my hips into the band. I'm trying to minimize rotation and just staying in that frontal plane. And I'm feeling my anterior, my front of my thigh, but I'm also really feeling my glutes on the loading side. So explode through. Because you're using speed, you really want a bit of a quicker component to it to generate that power. And working power, you want to be a little bit on the higher higher rep range. So somewhere around 12 to 15, and you're really going to feel that burn happening. And you're more than welcome to do both sides. But again, if you're a righty swinger, you definitely want to emphasize that backswing and the swing that you typically do. But don't hesitate to do both sides as well.
All right, next plane that we want to talk about is the transverse plane. Probably one of the most important planes in regards to a golf swing, because if we don't rotate, we can't generate any of the power and strength that we've been talking about earlier. So in the golf swing, what we're talking about for the transverse plane is the rotation aspect, okay? The twisting of the upper body, the movement of the hips in one direction, and then the powerful explosion into the opposite direction. Again, that twisting motion. So there's a lot that goes into the transverse plane in a golf swing. There's a lot of components to the golf swing itself. Today we're going to show you a good exercise for improving your mobility in the backswing, kind of loading up that swing and then moving forward from there. So take a look at this exercise, see if it helps in your backswing. Back at Recharge, we're going to look at the mobility, flexibility exercises for the backswing. One of my favorites here, all it takes is a PVC pipe. It could even be a squat rig or any stable surface, really. Put the PVC pipe behind you, grab it with your right hand, reach across, grab it with your left hand, and if you look here, it looks just like a backswing. Now from here, I drive my upper body down, and look at all that rotation we're getting into there. Come back up, go back down. In and out of this can really start to feel good for your back as it rotates into your backswing. You might feel a stretch into your lats, some of your musculature here, or on either side of your upper body. You might even notice the more that you do this, up and down, pause for a couple seconds, that you can rotate even a little bit more. All that's going to be very helpful in your backswing.
Our last plane of movement is the sagittal plane, which is forward and back. And this is an incredibly common plane of movement for life, right? You're sitting, you're driving, you're going to the bathroom. We do sagittal plane quite often. It's a little bit more nuanced in golf because you're not technically going forward and back a ton. And if you are, there's probably other issues you need to fix with your golf swing. But you are in that sagittal plane position quite often for periods of time in the golf swing. So in training this position, we want to be very sport specific and we want to load and get you stronger. So there's a strength component and there's strength over time that has an endurance component. But the difference between strength and power is speed. When we're dealing with power, right, in that frontal plane that we talked about, there's a speed component. We don't need a speed component for strength in the sagittal plane. So the exercise we're going to show you is very sport specific, but also does not need speed. We just need to get you stronger there so you can maintain your golf swing position throughout multiple rounds, 18, 36, or even more, for multiple times a week. Wouldn't that be nice to play golf multiple times a week and not have your back or your hips or whatever fall apart? And that's what we're going to show you in this exercise. Let's check it out.
If you grab a dumbbell, we're going to do something called tension holds, okay? So I take that dumbbell, lift one head up, and now I'm in that kind of 7-iron stance, good golf position. All I'm going to do here is create as much tension as I can in my lats and in my glutes and in my low back, and I'm going to put as much pressure or as much strength or effort into this dumbbell as I can without it actually coming up off the bench, okay? The dumbbell weighs 50 pounds. You're going to put 49 pounds into it and just hold. Okay? I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but I'm shaking a little bit trying to hold this here. Hold for about 15, 20 seconds, or as long as you're able to maintain that good 7-iron posture. And then you can put it down, shake it out. You should feel your low back working a ton. And that's okay. That's the point of this exercise, is to load up the low back, the posterior chain, in a safe, controlled environment that will, in turn, improve the muscular strength and endurance of that position so that you can golf more than 18 holes in a day. We can also do it with a kettlebell. Same idea, a little bit easier to grip. Same thing, grab the kettlebell up by the horns. I create as much tension as I can, and I lift without lifting. Okay, just as much effort into here as I can without it actually coming up off the ground or off the bench. And then relax. I know it's hard to see on camera, but that's pretty tough. I'm gonna toss it over to Gene, who's gonna show you how to do the exact same thing, but with a barbell.
All right, we got our barbell here. This is the third and final variation of the tension hold. Now we have it on our rig here because it's fairly easy to adjust. So you can do this anywhere. You can do it at home, you can do it at the gym, put some blocks underneath the barbell, literally whatever it takes to get it closer to your golf stance. Now I tend to stand a little bit more upright, less hinged, but you should put this where it feels like it's more relevant to your swing. But concept's still the same. This is nice because it does give you an opportunity for a wider grip. Now it's not as golf specific here, but the tension is still relevant and still the same in generating that posterior chain tension that Corey told you about. So here, you're grabbing the barbell, and the important part here is as you grab it, your arms are straight and you turn them out, because that's gonna get that lat activation, that big lat muscle that we want. So you're here, breaking it, and then trying to stand up. And like Corey said, it's hard to see, but I'm feeling all that into my pelvis, into my glute muscles, in my hands for grip strength, and through the lats. And if you can hold this for somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds, that's good. If you can hold it more than 15 seconds, that's not enough weight. So you should be able to hold it up to 15 seconds and really be shaking, and something should feel like it's going to give, whether it's your grip strength or just too much tension in the pelvis. But 15 seconds is really that magic number. If you can hold it more than that, put some more weight on it or grab a heavier weight to progress. That's the tension hold for the sagittal plane, dumbbell, kettlebell, or the barbell here. All right, that's it for the plane or movements of planes of movements, different planes, strengthening planes, all the planes, airplanes. So you got strength, you have power, and you have mobility.
If you like some of this stuff and you want to learn a little bit more about how to improve your golf game as it pertains to fitness, strength, power, mobility, be sure to follow us on Instagram at RechargeXFit. Stay tuned for more golf-related content. We got our own golf performance program in the works. It's going to be a good time. And special shout out to Eagle 5 Indoor Golf for letting us use their facility. If you're in the Columbia, Baltimore-ish, Ellicott City area out here in Maryland, give them a shot. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. If you like our stuff, stuff is amazing. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. We got a lot of golf and performance videos coming out. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you again on the next video from Recharge.